Alright, and welcome back to the channel, everybody, and I hope you're doing fine. Now, in today's video, we're gonna talk about Dungeonborne. They have a playtest coming up very soon, and also the early access version of the game will drop very soon as well. We're gonna talk about a lot in today's video, and there will be some teasers, some info about the game, also some exclusive content, only in this video right here. But you know what? There are timestamps in the description below, so if you only want to see specific topics, you can jump straight to them. Now, let's see what we're going to talk about today. First of all, we're going to start with the teasers that they released over the last couple days and weeks, because quite a few things changed in the game, and I think it's always better to look at some clips compared to a slideshow, honestly. Afterwards, we're going to talk about the design pillars of the game, so what should make the game great in the near future. Also, and this is exclusive in this video as far as I know, we're going to talk about how they reworked the loot and also how the legendaries will look like. And then afterwards we have two more topics that are important. We're going to talk about the new powerful standard affixes and also about the set affixes. Afterwards, because a lot of people will have questions to that, we're going to share a little bit the playtest info. And with that, let's go. Okay, let's start with the new teasers that they dropped. Now, as always, be careful, everything that I'm going to show you in these videos is work in progress. So some of the clips do not have any background sound or sound effects, so this is not a mistake on my end, for once at least. But at the time when they recorded this, they didn't have the sound effects yet, that's why they're missing. They will be in the playtest, hopefully. And with that, let's start with the clips. Now let's get started with our first clip, and that's going to be a pyromancer against a druid. So the druid is new, you will see already a few abilities right here. Now, I love how the spellcasting works in this game. It looks awesome. Alright, from a gameplay point of view, from a balance point of view, we will have to see. And a surprise panther attack. Now, next one is going to be Rogue versus Death Knight. We saw some of these abilities that they're using already in the previous playtest. What I like about the Rogue is, first of all, the smoke bombs are cool, but also that you can't insta-stealth. So it's an ability that you have to channel. I like that because otherwise rogues can be very cheesy. Now, with the damage numbers on top, I personally like them. I know it looks weird, it almost looks like in a comic, because, well, you get instant feedback how good your attacks are. You have no idea, oh, my attacks are not working. Oh, yes, dude, this was a super effective attack. I like that. Now, we have sword and shield here. You can now do this frost slash attack, which looks pretty cool. You have the charge attack from the sword and shield. Now, they reworked that a little bit, and the combos are kind of always the same. I think you can do like a perfect block that will enable an attack or something like that. Then the next one here, I think we have the priest rework. Yeah, the spells look pretty cool. You see different numbers though, so I don't know if the healing circle now damages the opponent. You also have a res now, which is pretty effing sick. You can also prep that already on the floor. Ooh, and the damage absorbed shield. This one right here is, I think, the frost spell that goes, yeah, the ice spikes on the ground. And what I like about that is, when your enemy pays attention, they can just jump over it. Now I'm gonna show you one more thing, because the clip doesn't end here. They're a little bit cheeky here. You can see a priest casting the resurrect on the floor and then resurrect him himself. Now keep in mind that most likely this spell will be limited. And they also reworked the AI. So what they added is dismemberment. So depending on where you hit the AI, they will lose limbs. For example, right here we have a skeleton. We're gonna cut off the left arm right now. But you know what? Why stop there with the left arm? Let's cut off the other arm as well. And surely that's gonna be it then for the thing, because we all watched The Walking Dead, am I right? But yeah, the biting is still a thing. I don't know if this is biting or giving you a headbutt, but I think this looks very cool. Damn. Lovely. Okay, let me analyze this a little bit more, because the clips were so short and I had to talk already very quickly. There are a few things that I disliked in the last playtest. For example, everybody was playing the classes the same way. When it comes to variety or of, you know, well, I don't want to play this way, I want to play in a different way. For example, when you played World of Warcraft, you had different skill trees that you can pick from, and depending on the skill tree, your character played differently. That was not really the case in the latest playtests, and right now, it looks like you got more skills, which is nice. For example, the priest seems to have frost spells now, but also holy spells, so maybe you can do a damage priest, maybe you can do a support priest. I would love this. I would absolutely love this. This was one of my biggest concerns with the latest playtest. You play the classes, and after a while they get kind of stale because, yeah, it's always the same. Everybody's always going for the same stats. So I hope they can fix this. Next thing, though, they need to... There is this game title that we don't mention. Well, I will mention it, okay, and it's Dark and Darker. So they implement the Druid, and the first thing that I see is the Panther. So I hope that they will have forms that are not the exact copy of Darker and Darker. Alright? Dungeonborne, in my opinion, is not Dark and Darker when you dive a little bit into the game. On a superficial level, it looks exactly the same, right? But when you play it, you will realize it's kind of not. So please give the Druid not the same forms, because that would be kind of weird. Already seeing the Panther there, and I was like... Ooh, I can already see the comment section with that one. Alright, otherwise, visually absolutely stunning. I love the art style of the game. This is one of the things that I dislike in Dark and Darker, for example. Dark and Darker has some very dark corners. Yes, I know it's called Dark and Darker, but still, if it gets so goddamn dark that people can just hide in a corner, although the torch is 2 meters away, that makes no sense. So visually, this game pleases me actually a little bit more. So now we talked about the teasers, the clips. I absolutely love the dismemberment. I wonder if you can do it with players too. Chopping off arms, and then they regrow when you heal them. That would be kind of cool. I think I'm asking a bit much here, but I love that you can dismember the AI and then their attack pattern actually changes. Okay, enough talking. Let's jump to the next chapter. Next, we're going to talk about design pillars. To be a little bit more precise, how will the combat look in Dungeonborne? Alright, Lazy Mike here, because I'm going to use the slides that I got from the dev. Thank you very much for sharing that with me and allowing me to use them. Because there's a lot of text, and honestly I don't want to F it up when I transfer it to my slides. Let's get going. Dungeonborne's combat design pillars. What makes the Dungeonborne combat unique and enjoyable? That's what it means. Mind over mouse, our combat isn't about twitch reflexes or mouse aiming precision, it's about outthinking your opponent using strategy and mind games to gain the upper hand. It's kind of similar in Hunt Showdown, right? If you play smart and you think ahead and analyze what your enemy is doing, you can get an advantage. Sure, if you're a good shot and you're good at clicking heads, yeah, that's of course an advantage. It will be similar in this game as well. Because you need to parry, you need to dodge, you still need to hit with your spells and blah blah blah. So this will play a role, but I like it that decision making will be important as well. I would have loved to see a few examples to basically explain what they mean by that. Next, utilizing skills and threshold perks to give each class a rock solid and unique identity while still allowing for individual player customization. On paper, this sounds nice. In reality, the second part was missing in the last playtest, so I hope they added this now, because individual player customization is something that I'm looking for in these kind of games, right? I want to play around with different builds, with different skills. If I only have one and only one way to go with my character, the game can become quite boring very fast. But if I can play around with different builds, with different affixes, I think this is a winner then. Utilizing a frontline assassin backline approach to team comps where players can mix and match to achieve success with straightforward and easy synergy across classes. Yeah, okay, nothing against that. What I need to know, how will that look in earlier access? For solos, duos and trios, will there be different queues? Because honestly, Dark and Darker learned this in my opinion the painful way. All the solos will be leaving if they go up against trios the whole time. And solo queue is only one dungeon, the Goblin Caves. They added, for example, solo queue in rotation for all the maps. So please don't forget about our solos, right? Team play is important. I like this, that you can do some theory crafting, what classes work well together, and then get some profit out of that. Okay, let's see what else there is. Now, there is not a lot on this slide, I'm going to be honest. It's also not super amazing here. Core loop, get information, create your plan, execute with precision. Honestly, isn't that the case for any game? Or should be the case for any game. So let's go to the next one real quick. Space for time. Gaining spatial advantage requires a trade-off in time, cooldowns, so resources, movement skills, and ranged attacks can't be spammed, they come with a cost. Which is a big thumbs up from my side. I don't know if you play any fighting games, but going up against that one dude who always spams the same move and it's your Achilles heel and you can't counter it. Yeah, I hope this will not be the case in Dungeonborne. We saw reviving, so I hope reviving, for example, gonna have a huge cooldown, because otherwise you can always revive your teammates when they die and it's a never-ending battle. Same maybe with the absorb shield or some damage spells that are very, very powerful. That can actually lead to some interesting gameplay. For example, the big fireball having a huge cooldown. Maybe you can bait the fireball or maybe counter the fireball with your absorb shield and they share the same cooldown. And then you can pair this. That might be really, really fun. Next, every move has a counter. No single strategy dominates. Every offensive and defensive move has counters and counterplays. Smart adaptable plays can always turn a tide. I don't know what to think about this. Honestly, this is pretty vague. And also, yeah, okay, on paper this sounds cool. But how will it look in-game, right? Does it mean that there will not be a rock, paper, scissor approach? Because other games have this, right? And to get rid of that, you play in teams, and then depending on a team combo, you have a solid combination that can win against basically everything. This right here means I have a chance with any class against any other class. Now there will be a lot of classes, there will be a lot of affixes and other stuff, so this will be a nightmare to balance, but hey, sure. And the last one, something for everyone. No matter your playstyle, Dungeonborne has something for everyone. The game is designed to fit a variety of preferences, PvE, PvP, trading, low-risk farming. No matter your playstyle, you'll find enjoyment in Dungeonborne. In theory, this sounds amazing, but how will this look with PvE and PvP? So if somebody just wants to do PvE, will there be PvE servers? Sure, why not? PvP, yeah, here. That probably is me. Trading, which is very interesting, but okay, why not? Low risk farming, whatever that means. But okay, I think the message is clear. They want to give you some options what you want to do. Now, sounds good. Pretty vague though. And we will have to wait for Wednesday, because Wednesday is going to be the playtest, and then we're going to check that out ourselves. And here we go. We're going to have some exclusive stuff in here. Loot changes and legendaries. Okay, let's talk first about the itemization changes. There's gonna be quite a bit, so sorry if the video is getting a bit longer. So what they did is they doubled the affix pool, or almost doubled the affix pool, which is nice because different affixes will enable different builds. I was complaining just a few minutes ago that every character or every class is very linear and you can always go down one path and only play one style. If this is gonna change with the affixes, this will be really nice. This also enables a higher drop rate. And now I'm quoting them, they want a Diablo-like loot hunting experience. Which Diablo? Because in some of the Diablos, especially the last one, a legendary drops every, I don't know, 20 seconds. I'm exaggerating right now, maybe. And I really want legendaries to be rare, so you get excited when you see, oh, legendary drop, nice. If they drop every 10 seconds and you're just looking for the affixes, it's kind of, I don't know. So I hope they will find a good balance here. Overall, they're gonna have better loot in the dungeons, so there's gonna be more common and blue in the regular mode. The mini bosses, this is not on the slide right now, will also be able to drop epics, and in the hard dungeons you will get way more epics, which is nice. Okay, now let's go to the unique weapons. Now, again, I'm gonna start here with a quote. High level should feel high level, which is already a ooh, because that screams OP and way too strong. But yeah, they say there needs to be a power and a balance between this. And what I like is that they actually have stylish on the list and powerful. You will see in a bit what I mean. So these unique legendary weapons, they will also look better. They have unique skins, which I absolutely adore, because you can flex in a little bit in-game with that, which is always nice, you know. Unique gear means also unique effects. Now, what do I do if I have a build that is, well, built on specific affixes and effects, and I lose the gear? So that means if I have a favorite build, it might be behind a lot of affixes and legendary gear. How quickly can I get that back? That will be interesting. That also means, though, that losing the gear actually hurts. Maybe I'm alone with this, but when loot or your gear is becoming meaningless, it takes a lot of the tension out of the game. So unique effects, we're gonna see in a bit what they look like, at least a couple, because I have some clips for that. And it's not just stats, it's new builds. Alright, I would say we have a look at the clips. Okay, let's start with an inspect animation, because the sword looks like an absolute banger, but the legendary is actually not the sword, it's the shield. Now, the shield every 5 seconds, you can toss it, hits 3 targets, shield comes back, frost damage, slows them. That sounds really crazy strong, every 5 seconds, although 5 seconds in PvP is a long time. Looks amazing, and this is definitely one of the more unique abilities. Next, we're gonna have the staff here. As always, I tried to be fair, I tried to be honest with you guys. That was kind of disappointing, because they were talking about unique abilities, and this is just, well, first of all, that sword right there looks absolutely amazing. You have a frost shield there. Look at that orb, that sphere, that sword. It has like the broken blade, but yeah, grants a more powerful version of Stormcoal. More powerful does not mean unique. Not the same thing. Visually, that thing looks absolutely fucking amazing, but in the future they will probably add more legendaries. They will play around with this. As long as they can keep somewhat of a balance with this, I'm happy. We have one more legendary though we're gonna look at, and that's gonna be this banger here. So it changes the attack that you have. So you have the charge attack, it's a kaboom and then the kabang, and you have some sort of earthquake there. Always keep in mind, work in progress. I think a shockwave would be pretty cool. There's no feedback on the enemy players that they get hit, but just the idea to add this to the game is pretty effing nice. Especially on a priest, giving him an AoE damage melee attack is pretty bonkers. Okay, 2 more topics. They will be shorter. Let's go. The gear affixes got an update, and we're gonna check that out right now. Lazy Mike again. Love it that we have a little bit of space here for the webcam. Affix changes and why we're doing it. Issues from the previous playtest. Gear disparity. Affixes were a bit too numerical in nature, leading to gear disparity. I like this because it was just about get more stats. You become way stronger. And if you have the stronger gear, there's like a super huge gap between people who just start. I also wonder how they will do this with matchmaking. For example, Dark and Darker has right now a gear score, I think, of 25 to separate the beginners from the rest, which is a dumb threshold, just for the record, but they do have one. So let's see how they will do it. Also, lack of diversity for each class. Most players use the same build, the same weapons, affixes and passives, leading to less creativity. Mentioned that a few minutes ago. If they can solve this, yeah, dude, the playtime value skyrockets for the game. How we plan to fix it? Moving to solve the above problems, we're introducing more versatile and conditional affixes. So more variety. That's it. Rebalancing existing stuff, new weapons moveset. I'm gonna show you that in a second. Let's have a look at this real quick. Yeah, so just some options, right? Playstyle enabled by new affixes. Gold farming, so you will have some affixes that give you more. You can stop the video and just read this for yourself, because I want to show you the affixes. Well, honestly, you can pause this for yourself as well. I'm just gonna get rid of me real quick so you can see everything properly, and maybe some other creators or people want to have a screenshot of this. Now, there is quite a lot here that will be impactful. For example, skill cooldown reduction. You can see it all the way on the right at the top, the list of the new affixes. And you can already see that some affixes will be build specific or lean into a build. For example, you have critical strike chance out of combat. So what I can see here is like a rogue going into stealth and having a powerful ambush, then going back into the shadows and vanishing. What I want to say is they're gonna be really fucking annoying. But hey, you can see the whole list, right? I think this is cool. This is going in the right direction to not go higher in stats, but a little bit more variety. Maybe you can do even some mixes. Very nice. And let's go to the almost final chapter. Now they will add a lot of standard affixes, but there will also be some set affixes. Okay, there are different set affixes. I'm gonna start with the offensive ones first. So you can already see the devs have different categories for that. For example, burst damage, hit and run, and poke. Various other ones are gonna probably join in the near future. And at the bottom or below the regular stats, you can see that there are now passive abilities. For example, Force of Trinity, Storm Rage, Tiny Torment, and, well, you unlock this by getting the set pieces, because you can see that some of the abilities are grayed out because you don't have enough set affix points. For example, the Sword of Frost gives you +3 Force of Trinity. You need a threshold of 25 to unlock the second ability and 30 for the third one. I like this because that means you can have multiple sets, mix them, fitting for your build, maybe have a different build. How this will actually work then late game, because I think that these sets should be hard to get. So if your favorite build needs a lot of the new affixes and new set affixes, This will be very difficult to get, and maybe your favorite build, you can play with that maybe once a day, once a week. What I would like to see maybe later in the game, to get some re-rolls on items for like crafting material. That would be cool. But okay, we're not done yet. Let's have a look at the other set affixes. We have some defensive ones, RNG-based memes and gold farming. And some of them are very, very easy. Damage taken is reduced by 50% upon being hit, 60-second cooldown. So this, at least I understand it this way, the first hit, 50% damage. Might be nice when there's currently a rogue meta with full burst one-shot ability, or like one-shot first strike max damage ability. Maybe you will run a lot of dragon scale items then. You also have the knight's armor with a mini revive. When taking fatal damage, your health is instead set to 70. Okay, this effect can now trigger multiple times when you have like a pity of death value of 15. Now, this reads very strong. On the other hand, 70 might be just 10% of your health. I don't know how this will look like in the next playtest. Knight's boost with some memes with Drunk Alchemist, where you get some potion effects. Yeah, okay, RNG based. Sure, if you want to have fun and don't care about the outcome of the combat. And then, yeah, Midas Touch is for getting more coins. Okay, so we have this and that, and we talked about all the other stuff. Oh yeah, let's talk about the playtest. Before the video ends, let's talk quickly about the upcoming playtest. Okay, this is all the info that you need right now, at least, for the playtest that is coming. July 3rd, so this Wednesday. Everyone who signs up on Steam will get access to the playtest, which is kind of cool. Then they said it's just the tip of the iceberg. We have lots more new content and systems that we haven't shown yet. Alright, that's kind of amazing. We will be launching into early access very shortly after playtest conclusion within July, which is absolutely crazy. So I think that this playtest will just be, okay, will something break? I don't think they will be able to add a lot of new stuff or react to a lot of feedback if they want to have early access this quickly. This is a polishing step, I think. But hey, it's going to be early access and not a release game, and then they can just keep working on the game. What I've seen so far, from the last playtest to the clips that I got shown today, or like a few days ago to be honest, that is already quite some improvement, and I can't wait to join the playtest. Now go out there, sign up on Steam, and have fun. Thank you for watching. This video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but there's just so much to talk about, and honestly, I think, for example, the affixes, I would have loved to talk a little bit more. But let's see, we're gonna stream that over on twitch.tv/Psychoghost, and maybe I'll see you there. We're gonna stream definitely on Wednesday and Thursday, and hopefully we're gonna have a good time. Then, as always, big shout out to my patrons. Thank you very much for supporting me over there. You guys are, as always, effing amazing and the very best. Thank you for watching. I really hope there's gonna be more variety in the upcoming playtest. That would be so cool. And with that, I wish you a happy day. I see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day and bye-bye.